Hi, I'm Karl Konrad and I'm part of the Australian Immigration Law Services team. We celebrate being another year older and have 23 years of experience in helping people just like you get their visas to live, work and study in Australia. Subscribe for videos on visas, requirements, tips and important updates such as changes to immigration law. If you need more help, we're also available for Zoom, Skype and telephone consultations. I've been getting asked more in consultations about the possibility of gaining permanent residency through the State Nomination 491 visa by owning a small business. We know business brokers in Surfers Paradise in Queensland are being swamped with inquiries to purchase an existing business for sale, and this must bring a huge benefit to a region that has struggled during the COVID pandemic. One of my clients has recently bought a restaurant up there and is actually enjoying herself being a business owner. Currently, only Queensland, South Australia and Tasmania offer such programs, but they may be joined later as the benefits to local economies become an envious outcome. But which of these state-sponsored pathways is better? That's a difficult question to answer, but we'll have a crack at it. First of all, you need to nominate an occupation, and of course this means you must have a skill assessment ready. This is a basic requirement for the 491 visa. Currently for Queensland, South Australia and Tasmania, your occupation does not need to match the business you are operating. For example, you could be nominating financial broker as your occupation, but running a small cafe. In all states, you must be the owner of the business. What type of business can you operate? Queensland is happy for you to run most type of businesses, but there's a catch. You must purchase an existing business and it must be in a regional area of Queensland, which of course is anywhere in Queensland except the city of Brisbane. Tasmania and South Australia do not have that requirement and you can start your business from scratch if you like. South Australia favours businesses that will support their projected target areas of growth in tourism, international education, defence industry, food and wine and agribusiness, high-tech health and medical, energy and mining, space industry, and finally, creative industries. Certain businesses are not eligible in Tasmania. These are service stations, massage clinics, and taxi or Uber-related businesses. Nor do they support franchise or part-owned or passive business investments. South Australia likewise does not support franchise businesses. All states have a requirement as to how long you must have been operating the business before you become eligible for the 491 visa. South Australia is the toughest, asking that you have been operating the business for at least 12 months unless you hold a Supporting Innovation South Australia visa, which won't be most of you. However, if you do hold this visa, you only need to run the business for 6 months. Tasmania and Queensland have 6 months requirements and this is very handy for those on the Graduate 485 visa. Is there a minimum amount of money that you need to be spending on your business? Queensland requires that you purchase an existing business and you have to spend at least $100,000 in doing so. Tasmania and South Australia do not require you to purchase an existing business to qualify or have a minimum amount of money you should spend if you set up your business from scratch. The Small Business Owners Pathway grows businesses and the economy in regional areas. Queensland specifically requires at least one local resident to be employed for at least 20 hours per week, or 2 employees at 10 hours a week. South Australia wants to see at least 2 employees and full-time would be favoured over part-time. Tasmania does not specify the number of staff but want to see long-term benefits to the state, and this of course means providing employment for locals would definitely qualify in meeting that requirement. In all cases, employees cannot include yourself. Speaking of benefit to the state, both South Australia and Tasmania want to see business plans and projections of your current enterprise in how it's going to do just that. There are no set figures, but as I mentioned, employment of local community must be a significant factor in gaining sponsorship. Both South Australia and Tasmania also want to see that your business can give you, the applicant, a personal income of at least $53,900, which is the minimum threshold required to turn the 491 visa into permanent residency. You need to convince the state that your business is likely to give you this income for the next 3 years. Now, Queensland does not specify such a requirement. Does your business need to show a minimum turnover? Queensland is the most straightforward here. There is no minimum turnover required just as long as it's paying for all its expenses and meeting all its obligations, such as taxes, wages, etc. South Australia and Tasmania require that you have a personal income of at least $53,900, so your turnover would have to be at least able to meet this on top of all other expenses. It may be a projected annual turnover, however, if your business has only been in operation for 6 months, as you won't have the financial year's documents as evidence. Since you must operate the business for a while, what visa do you need to be on? Queensland requires you to hold a visa that gives you full-time permission to work. That is great for the 485 visa holders and also those who are dependents on their partner's student visa for master's or PhD courses, or even dependents on 482 business visas. Tasmania and South Australia have no such specific requirement for visas except for the obvious ones that you need a visa with work permission, which rules out those on tourist visa. This opens the doors to all international students who can start their businesses while holding student visas. And as a handy tip, you can register a company and business name in Australia whilst holding a student visa. As far as experience or qualifications go in running a business, Queensland accepts that if you can run a business successfully for 6 months, then they will take this as evidence of your capacity to run a business without qualifications or a background in business. South Australia and Tasmania require you to have previous experience and qualifications that will help the applicant successfully build their business in Australia over at least 3 years. Now, this is somewhat vague. Of course, if you've already been successful, logic would indicate that you have the experience and enough qualifications to get the job done. Projected turnover figures would play a key role in making a successful argument. So which is the best state? Well, our nod would go to Queensland as they have specific requirements and there is no wishy-washy subjective requirements like Tasmania and South Australia, such as demonstrating what the benefit to the state will be. It also has just one employee requirement at only 20 hours a week, not so difficult to achieve. However, $100,000 is a great deal of money and not everyone has access to those funds. South Australia and Tasmania does leave the doorway open for true entrepreneurs who have started from scratch and have built a thriving business. However, South Australia's requirement of 12 months and 2 staff definitely ensures their program falls into last place. My second choice then falls to Tasmania. Their advertised criteria is not as clear-cut as Queensland though, and it leaves uncertainty whether they will grant you sponsorship or not. The Small Business Owner Scheme has great potential to develop regional economies and should be expanded without a doubt. We hope to see in the next financial year budget more recognition of this program and the benefits it can bring. So if the idea suits you, get out there and give it a go. Thanks for watching. If you want to book a time to speak with us, visit australiavisa.com to set up an appointment. Join our Facebook community to get all of our updates as we don't make videos about everything. Hit the like button to support this channel and as always, take care out there and I will see you next time. So bye for now.